We got 7 minutes.
And this is the Gorillaz. Hey, but hey, feel good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Vinyl Stallions!
And want to know what?
What?
Hey, but hey, you're on the next episode of Vinyl Stallions.
Hey, but hey!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fucking kick-ass guest today. Probably a name that you have heard in probably over 30% of our podcast if you're a consistent listener. But we have Mr. Brian McEntee, aka BMac, in the house.
Hey, but hey!
And BMac and I, man, we go back a long time, B.
Kindergarten?
Yeah,
Kindergarten.
literally kindergarten. And I'm repping right now the Bulldog Pride.
Bulldog, baby.
St. Bernadette Bulldogs in the house. And as BMac and I said, I mean, grade school to high school, went different colleges, and at some points have even worked together. But now we are notoriously known for our Super Smash Bros. Partnership, kicking online ass.
Stellar. Just
Absolutely
absolutely stellar.
I mean, we get our asses kicked too.
We never lose.
But we never lose because we always say yes to a rematch, and eventually those people say no to
They
us.
just quit. I mean, what are you
And
doing?
technically we win at the end of the day because
we
we're still here trying to rematch you. Sure, you beat us 5 times in a row, but we're out here trying to rematch.
But
So
we're winners. We're winners.
I'm repping my Luigi hat. But BMac, man, we've been trying to get you on. I'm glad we finally locked it in.
Yeah, man. You just got to bring me in person. I can't do it over Skype.
It's true. We had that cat. We tried it one time with some unreleased Vinyl Stallions footage of BMac getting mauled by his cat.
Mid-interview.
Shortly thereafter, hit her head on the coffee table, and I was just like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get that released.
The cat
We'll
wanted to
just bring
be
the
on
cat.
Stallions.
Bring the cat on the Stallions.
Yeah, pretty good. Momo. Shout out to Momo.
Shout out, Momo.
But yeah, so today, we're gonna be kicking it, doing a little sit down with BMac, but also I go BMac pick an album. And what did you choose?
Another throwback to our glory days as Bulldogs. We got Demon Days by the Gorillaz. I brought my CD with me. I know the listeners can't see it, but it's here. It's in person. And something I didn't realize is it has like this full, like, just drop down album art for every single track, all 15 of them. It's front and back. It's a beautiful thing.
It's honestly really cool. And like, yeah, no, I'll bring this up to the camera every time we go through each song so everyone can see this, but this is fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense that the Gorillaz, they're an animated band, and that just kind of blossomed out of this cool partnership between the co-founders. We got Damon Albarn, who's actually the lead singer of the British band Blur from the 90s. I heard this in the past, but
Woo!
Exactly. We just put it on before this just to make sure. And he is the brains of the music component for the Gorillaz, which is really, really cool. And on their first album, self-titled one, the Gorillaz, he is the lead vocalist, and they have the character 2D, who is their lead vocalist. He sang in a different tone to not sound like himself from Blur, but he changed it up for Demon Days, and he just sings in his regular voice. So just kind of a footnote there. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Oh, that is interesting to sound.
So is he the guy, like the main vocalist in the song Clint Eastwood?
For the most part, yeah. So Clint Eastwood features Del the Funky Homo Sapien for the hip hop rap
For the
component.
rap
He's
parts,
the one
right?
doing the verses for that. But the vocals are, I believe, from Damon. I think they're all Albarn. So, and Albarn. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I hope I did.
It's all right. Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where he gets his roots from. That his active period was like 1990 to 2000. And then 2001, he switched gears, and this is what he landed with. And his co-founder is Jamie Hewlett. He is the artist behind the operation. So he's the one who made every single character. He made the artwork, the music videos, everything you're seeing visually, whether it be on stage or anything that they put out for their band members, quote unquote. He was the brains behind that, and they happen to be flatmates on like the tail end of like his Blur days for Auburn, which is kind of cool. And they literally were like watching MTV one day, and they were like, wow, this is all kind of the same, and there's all these boy bands and everything's kind of the same. And I'm pretty sure Hewlett just kind of looked at him and he's like, let's make like an animated boy band. That'd be hilarious. And from there, it just like turned into this, which is so hilarious that like two flatmates just bullshitting eventually turned into like a full-fledged 20-year-long project that's like made some terrific, like awesome hits.
Insane. Well, fuck it, man. Let's just dive into this album right now. You guys got me juiced up talking about this.
And
Like-
and really quick, so Jamie Hewlett, he doesn't actually play an instrument
No
or
instruments.
like.
He
So I'm
is
looking
just
at the
a
credits right
purebred
now.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets credited on all the tracks because there's always components of the music that he's going to be a part of and like
Mhm.
making stuff and all that
And
stuff.
writing doesn't necessarily mean playing. Like there's a lot of bands
No.
where one person writes it all, but obviously they're not playing every instrument.
Exactly. And do you want some background on the like animated characters themselves just so you get the names?
Yeah, give me a whole
Yeah,
background
yes.
for-
Give us everything.
Yeah, give us everything.
Okay, so you got the cover slip there.
Yes.
Starting off your top right corner, you got 2D. Little man with his hat and a cigarette in his mouth. He is our lead vocals and our keys. And
Right on.
he's actually created from a composite of who is it? Frontman. Oh jeez. I can't even read that. Never mind.
Call him Tony Spagnoli.
Tony Spagnoli. He's created to portray the classic stupid pretty boy singer. So that's kind of his vibe where he's just like, oh, I don't really give a shit. It's whatever.
All right.
Yep. And then show that back over this way. We'll go below him, man with the goggles built into his hat. That is our drummer, and his name is Russell Hobbs. Drums and percussion. He's based loosely on Ice Cube, the American rapper.
Okay.
Happens to be cousins of Del the Funky Homo Sapien. So that's where they kind of got that inspo from. And fictional backstory wise, he gets possessed by the spirits of dead musicians. So every time they have a rapper come in, he gets possessed and talks as a proxy for them. So anytime there's like a music video or anything and they have like a rapper come in, that is going to be the character that they speak through for that artist, which is kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
And, so there's that, and then we'll do top left. That is our main man, Murdoch Nichols, on bass.
Okay.
He is insane. He's based on Keith Richard from the Stones, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I can kind of
And
see it.
he is a avid Satanist and sold his soul to the devil to become musically talented. So in exchange, he got his fame and his bass guitar nicknamed El Diablo.
Wait, hang on. Question for both of you. Would you sell your soul to the devil to be an amazing artist?
Oh, of course. No
Mhm.
questions asked. Hell with the afterlife. That'd be awesome.
Master Klep?
What?
Would you sell your soul?
I'm taking that as a yes.
Oh, yeah. No, I said yes too.
You probably said I already did.
And then last but not least,
For a lot less than being good at music.
last but not least, we got our chica of the band. We got Little Noodle. She is a fictional Japanese musician who was shipped to the Gorillaz in a wooden crate. She popped out, started shredding guitar, and her only words were noodle. So that's how she got her name. She likes playing keys and doing some other vocals as well. And yeah, she's only 10 years old, which is music prodigy territory, if I do say so myself. Let me see.
Yeah, these guys are wild.
Oh yeah, and her backstory is she was part of a secret Japanese like military program, like MK Ultra for the CIA, and she got her mind wiped before she got shipped to the Gorillaz for some reason. I don't know, man.
She only knows guitar.
So this is such a crazy concept. Like you have like a real band like playing. I mean, I guess it's just the two people, but like obviously when they go to the studio to make the music, it's more than just them.
Exactly.
You have like that component of the band, and then you have like the animated virtual band who like, yeah, if you've ever seen a Gorillaz music video, like that's what you're seeing. Like it's just such an interesting concept.
Everything behind that. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a crazy concept. I'm gonna tell you right now, like I did not know this before.
Oh no, I dug in because it was like a straight up rabbit hole for me. Once I found one thing, I was like, this is really interesting. I want to keep going.
So how'd you get in? Because you said like when you told me you finished the album, you were like, I knew every single lyric to it, and I couldn't even tell you like how or when I learned it.
Right? It's because I probably would just listen to this thing on my Walkman like over and over and over again. And it was just so funny because like even some of the like really fast rap portions, like going back through the lyrics, I've had them totally wrong for so many years. But I was in the ballpark.
Yeah.
That is me on so many songs. Like I'm just like ballpark with the lyrics, and then like I'll be talking about it with like Spruce or someone else, and he'll like say the correct lyrics. I'm just like,
he always corrects me. I know.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but we're gonna like we talked about Dirty a bunch of times on here, who's my roommate, and we're gonna have him on here pretty soon. And that man can expose me on multiple lyrics that I have gotten wrong over my years. But we'll save that for a different day. So, all right. So this was released in 2005.
Yeah. And a lot of the songs actually touch on like some major like world events. I mean, it's like the post 9/11 era. There's all the stuff going on in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Iran. Like just that whole time period, it was just like such a like clusterfuck with the war on terror. So a lot of that like got wrapped into some of the songs, which is kind of cool. So I'll point them at it as we go through too. Like get you little snippets where it's like, wow, they're really making a commentary here. I did not realize this.
Damn. All right, so we got 15 tracks on this album, and it starts off with the song just called Intro.
Mm-hmm. Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Needless to say. Where is it? Oh my god.
Well, so just even on the back of here, the back of the CD case, it like the credentials say Gorillaz / Don Harper. Intro contains elements from Dark Earth, from Dawn of the Dead soundtrack, which was written by Don Harper.
Show us the picture for Intro.
And published. You're right. He's even in order.
Yes. This track's like a minute, 3 seconds.
So it should be at this end because that's the last living soul. So I don't know if there's one for that.
There is none for the intro.
Which is okay.
So no picture for intro, no problem. But yeah, like a minute track, like there's vocals in it, but they're not like singing anything, right?
No,
it's just sort of like ambient.
You want to know what they are saying?
What are they saying?
They keep repeating "Who put me down on the bottom of the food chain," just over and over and over again near that last portion. And then at the very end, it goes, "We are now entering the harmonic door."
Damn!
It's like Mac DeMarco. Welcome to the show. We are now crossing the harmonic door. Damn, it's a really like haunting, which makes sense because they pulled stuff from like a horror movie.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. But it just kind of like drones along in this loop, and it's just got this like spooky Dracula's castle organ going on there too, and I'm just like, whoa! It like makes the hair stand up on end, and you're kind of like, oh god, what's gonna happen?
What have I gotten myself into?
But yeah, it just keeps building until you get that harmonic door, and then it busts on down through to the next one.
Which is Last Living Souls. Tell us about it, BMac. I'm gonna show the picture.
All right, so it has almost a metronome kind of going on it with the drums and the bass, and then it starts to layer a lot, and I kind of like how it builds. And
it's a fitting picture too, because this song has like a full orchestra in
exactly. There's so many different musical components going on, whether it be from the hip hop side to the alternative and rock space. I mean, they're jumping back and forth. It's not stagnant. It's not stationary with how it builds to the chorus and goes back to the verses. And it almost does that like Bruce Springsteen thing where it like breaks a song apart into like 3 separate songs anyways. That's kind of the vibes I get. There you go. Just gets it.
I remember when I listened to this, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and the big thing to remember with Demon Days is they had a full choir and classical string section for at least 7 of the songs.
Dude, there's so many strings.
This has got to be one of them.
Oh, I know. And I always like, there's just these long sections in some songs where it's just like a bow just scraping against a cello very slowly, and you're like, oh god.
But I mean, so there was also like, Klep pointed it out to me honestly before I listened to it, and then I went in so with the mindset. So I'll give Klep the credit, but he was talking about how the first part of the album is very like electronic and like techno focused, and I don't know what other words did you use, Klep?
That's probably some of the reggae and dub inspiration, because with dub music, it's that long droning synths, the reverb fading in and out, and it just kind of coasts you along on this bass driven like vibe. And they pulled a lot of their stuff from there, and some of the songs they actually recorded in Jamaica too. So there was a studio in Britain, and there was a studio in Jamaica as well, because of Burton, aka Danger Mouse, who is a feature for production rights for most of it. He's a pretty famous British producer who gained a lot of fame through this, and he definitely like brings that hip hop style influence and helps like propagate that along for this one as well, because they touch lightly on it in their first album, but they really dive on in with a lot of different features from both American and British hip hop, which is honestly dope. And they have it in this first one. Let me see if I marked.
Danger Mouse, to add to that, he's credited with the drum programming for all tracks.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he was like very involved in this album.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it lays it out on here with like the back of the credentials.
Okay.
With just additional guitar, Simon Tong, violin, Sally Jackson, and Projut Hassan, violas, Amanda Drummond, and cello. So yeah, I mean, it goes down from a cello to a double bass.
Damn.
They got it all.
It really had it all.
Really awesome. And I mean, when you have like a band where you have a certain amount of members, it doesn't really matter what they're playing while you animate them. Like, you can throw whatever the heck you want.
Exactly. That's true. But from there we go into Kids with Guns.
Still pretty apropos even today.
This is one of my favorite songs on the album for sure.
Yeah,
so I went into this only knowing Dare and Feel Good Inc.
Exactly.
And yeah, this was one of the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah, especially just that bass line where it's just bottom, 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 bottom. It's like that same thing, super simple all the way throughout. And it's just like in the background, you're like, dun, dun, dun. It's almost like a fucking death march. It's terrifying.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of the point of the song to some extent.
Pretty much. And it's also another nod in the post 9/11 era when we're just like shipping all these 18-year-olds over to the Middle East. And it's just like, what are we really doing here, you know? And probably why you have Noodle in the background just going, push it good, push it real good, and just keep saying that over and over again, because you got to just like push this certain image out to the kids so they agree to go and help fight for freedom and stuff, you know?
Damn. And then from there we go into Oh Green World. This picture does not look green. I'm sensing some sarcasm.
Oh, heavily. Heavily sarcastic. Yeah, I mean, some of the biggest themes that they have for this album are like the night, kind of darkness, but they're oftentimes described as dark pop, so it makes sense. And I mean, just this foreboding imagery of like humans are just literally like, one of the song titles is Every Planet We Reach is Dead. I mean, it's pretty out there in your face about it. But I mean, they hit the nail on the head every time they do that. And this is like one of the few songs that I think kind of sounds like his work from Blur. Not too much, but just kind of the like way that it's being played out. It's a little scratchier and kind of like the way he does his vocals. But then you get that heavy hip hop sub bass coming in and punching you. And that's every time that he isn't singing. So that's kind of cool to have that juxtaposition. And it's almost kind of written like a breakup letter too when you look at it for planet Earth, because the humans don't have our priorities straight, clearly, and we're just kind of sitting there hoping that they'll love us one day, even though it's like we're the ones kind of destroying this. So. And then Yeah, the blissful avoidance at the end for 2D, where he just kind of like breaks through and starts like this orchestral singing portion. And it's just kind of this blissful ignorance of like, oh, I hope that it can just stay like this forever. And he says, I hope sex and drugs rusted into myself. Holy, it feels holy. It feels like you're with your father in the place you love. So it's just like, yeah, the planet's already gone off to God. We're just here with ourselves now. Every living soul is dead.
Damn.
Dang, that is dark.
I know. It just brings this like dark undertone with some of its lyrical stylings to where like the outward like thing that they're doing with the music is just so like vibrant and happy for the most part and kind of psychedelic for some portions. But like underneath it all, it's like, we know our shit stinks. It's like,
and so I gotta add too. So Demon Days, Vinyl Stallions spin here. If you buy the vinyl, is a double discer, 2 LP, and so this song ends the A side.
Nice. So that I did not know. But if you go to Barnes and Noble's circa 2007, you can get this bad boy for all of $16.
Oh, you still got the price tag.
Wait,
no,
the CD or the vinyl?
The CD.
Okay.
It's all 15 on one, so it makes sense.
I was gonna say, wait, if that's the vinyl price, 2 discs, $16, I might be going to Barnes and Noble.
All right, so second side starts off with Dirty Harry.
And this was one of the singles that was off of this one. So it was one of the bigger songs up there with Dare and Feel Good Inc., like you were saying, Klep. And Booty Brown of the LA hip hop group, the what are they? The Far Side does the verse credit on this one, so he's the one rapping for this one. And it's just like all this drippy synth and this like crunchy rough synths just going back and forth throughout it, where again it kind of like prickles your hair a little bit, makes your hair stand up on end. You're kind of like, ooh, this is creepy, but I like it at the same time.
Kind of gave me a Giz vibe. I think.
A Giz, yeah. You were saying Giz, and I could totally see that with how far they're kind of like experimenting in the range of synths and stuff.
I can't stop thinking about Giz.
It's all the candles. It's all the candles.
And
this episode is brought to you by
Candles.
1 o'clock.
this one has like a choir in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does break it up into different sections, and it has that choir section. And it's really funny because as soon as that like choir like drops out, it goes into this next portion where they're talking specifically about George Bush, because it goes with regards to like the war on terror and whatever. If you listen, it ends by saying the war is over, so said the speaker with the flight suit on. And I think in like around that time, Bush was like making an address saying the war in Afghanistan was probably over at that point, from like a flight deck carrier. So they're just basically putting him on the spot at that point. And it goes on to say, past the flight suit, maybe to him I'm just a pawn. He can advance, so he can advance. Remember when I used to dance? Man, all I want to do is dance. And then it like breaks into that.
I feel like George Bush, like he got hammered by musicians during like the second term of his presidency.
Yeah,
I know.
Like honestly, this is a more sly one because like until I went back and looked at it, I would have had no context surrounding any of that. So like just like seeing like all these things that were like right in my face when I was younger, but I didn't have like the wherewithal and understanding to be like, oh, they're talking about this.
Dude, I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. Like that was my favorite band when I was younger. The album Minutes to Midnight, same thing. Like I listened to that album a ton when I was younger, and I didn't realize they're just like hammering Bush with the whole album.
It's really funny.
When I'm older and I listen to it, I'm like, damn, they really did not like this guy.
That dude.
Yeah, them, the Dixie Chicks as
Oh
well.
my god, the Dixie Chicks too.
That's what I mean. Like the whole music industry just had a field day with this guy.
They're just teed off.
Well, from a field day, we're going right into Feel Good Inc. Everyone knows on this album.
Dude,
This is like one of the most popular songs,
it's almost
just
got
like the
9 billion
2000s.
plays on Spotify, and that's just like kind of insane to me. But
And
One of the
Spotify
coolest-
wasn't even a thing when this came out. So that's how many years after the fact?
Oh yeah, it's got some staying power, and it's
Yeah.
got like a really cool video to go along with it. That I think it. Well, let me see.
Dude, I remember. So this song, my dad showed me this song, and my dad does not listen to new music, but
Yeah.
he showed me this song like when it came out. So I don't know. He seemed to think he was like a really big Talking Heads fan back in his day, and he seemed to think that somebody involved with the Talking Heads was like involved in this song somehow. I've never been able to connect it, so I'm not sure if
Guess
he's
again,
right.
the only
but-
feature they got on this track is from De La Soul, of all people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I haven't
Yeah.
ever been able to connect where he got that from,
No,
but
yeah. So the one feature, so it's one of the trio from De La Soul. His name is Dave Josier, aka Trugoy the Dove, and he is one of those three members. So he is the one doing the verse for this one. Just absolutely flawless section too at the end, which is cool. And another thing I never realized with the lyrics is at the very beginning when he's doing like that scat portion, like bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, he's actually saying "feel good" at the end.
Yeah.
He's literally saying "feel good," and I thought it was just
yeah.
like "Hey, hey," like a Michael Jackson kind of thing. So that made me feel stupid.
Yeah, I don't know a single one of those lyrics.
Oh,
But I know all of them at the same time.
You know the tune, you're fine. Oh man, but yeah, so I just thought that like after that scat line, that portion just made me laugh.
Where do we go from there?
I want to dive in further on this one because of the themes of intellectual freedom and the media dumbing down culture and how that plays out with their video actually. Because in the video, it's kind of like the dark and seedy, like Gorillaz headquarters. They're all just kind of like popping about. But then you get that random crazy like floating windmill in the sky. And our frontman 2D is like posted up just chilling on it. And that's kind of like the heights, that intellectual freedom. Like you're free to express yourself in any capacity that you feel like. So you're like floating out on cloud nine. And then it drops you back into reality with that verse coming in from our member of the De La Soul, where it's just like spitting line after line, just attacking you. And in the video, it's kind of like, oh my God, Clockwork Orange, where they got his eyes pried open and all those crazy TV screens everywhere. They got the same thing going where the rapper's face is almost like larger than life and up on these screens. And like, it's a fisheye lens. So he's really like getting up in your face, but 2D is surrounded on all sides by him as he spits the verse. And it's just like that mass manipulation kind of concept, and that is something I just wanted to make note on from the video because it definitely makes and enhances the song in and of itself.
Yeah, this music video is wild. That's one again I remember seeing like when this song came out. This was like right around when MTV and VH1 started to shift away from
That's
music
where
videos.
I first saw Feel Good Inc. was on MTV.
Yeah.
Ironically
They
enough.
still had a few channels that would play music videos, but then they started doing the whole reality TV stuff.
God,
But
ruined
this
it.
was still one that you could catch on there.
I know, I loved it.
Brett Michaels, Rocket Love Bus.
No, thank you.
I don't remember him on there.
Oh.
Oh wait, oh you're talking about that show. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like that.
That one
Room
took over.
Raiders.
Oh,
Room Raiders. Anyone remember Room Raiders?
man, right, Jersey Shore. Oh,
That's what took it over.
weak.
Room Raiders. That was a good one.
Oh man. Oh, and there's just this one cheeky line from 2D at the end because it kind of plays out like this overall theme is like the whole album is like moving through the course of an evening, like throughout the night. So there's one part where my dreams, they got a kissing because I don't get sleep now. And it's just the like cheekiest way to say kiss your dreams goodbye. Like both hypothetically and like metaphysically, like if you're an insomniac, you can't sleep and you can't dream big. And like that's one of the things with what they're trying to say in the song is like you got to let people just express themselves, and you can't really curtail that at all in any capacity, or else it just soils it.
Damn. Where do we go from here?
So that was one of the singles with a video, and then I mentioned Dirty Harry was two, and then Kids with Guns actually gets wrapped up with our next song. They're kind of like a dual video, which is weird, but it makes sense because it like plays out the same way. And Dare has their own video too. But the next one we got is El Mañana. And for all our non-Spanish homies, that means the tomorrow. The tomorrow.
And this song also ends the B-side, so end of disc 1.
Nice. Okay, so that makes sense because you're basically like halfway through the album at that point with all 15 songs.
Yep.
But yeah, so the tomorrow. This one also has a video, and it actually has that same like crazy flying windmill that you see in Feel Good Inc. But instead of 2D, the like lead guitar guy, you get Little Noodle running out there, and she's just like chilling up in the sky. You get like 2 Comanche Black Hawk like military helicopters just coming in out of nowhere, and they just open up with machine guns on this windmill and basically like shoot her out of the sky. And in the process of it going down, they just kind of hover over the top. And then one of the helicopters drops this like large, guided bomb, looks like a big fat nuke dropping right onto the windmills, like burning wreckage on the ground. And they just cut to black. It's like crazy. I went back and watched it, and I was like, just jaw open, like, oh my God, that was dark. But it also kind of like plays into the theme. I mean, the tomorrow, you never know if the dawn's gonna come. It's like a question out there. Like, this is why this is kind of the halfway point, like the terminus of disc 1, where here's the next portion. Are you gonna make it all the way through the night? Like, it's
I ask myself that with every double discer I listen to.
Every double discer. Don't even get me started on quad discs.
Oh, me and Klep have.
Oh, for the listeners, stay tuned. We'll have something coming for you about a quad disc.
Oh God. But yeah, this is another song that has like the haunting string section component, and it's just got this like weird, kind of spooky trip hop backing track. Yeah, there's that crazy ass helicopter. And it has like the Grim Reaper hanging off of it too, which is spooky.
The Grim Reaper cashes the check.
He can't stop thinking about kids.
They're coming in October to Detroit. BMac.
Oh, we're going.
So shout out to BMac. BMac was the one that gave Klep and I the tickets to the fucking Giz Liz. So shout out to BMac.
Here.
And I will be returning the favor when we go up on a Sunday in October.
Oh, go. Give me the candles. Oh, man. But, so because this is the halfway point, like, you're really in the heat of, like, the middle of the night. And I think this is the track that has, like, the tolling grandfather clock that kind of, like, winds down the song, letting you know, like, oh, we're at midnight. Like, it's almost like a theatrical play it sometimes, too. It's kind of cool.
100% with all those violins and then big orchestra with
exactly.
so many harmonies in the background. It's very much it's such a big production of an album.
And the next one we got is definitely our cheeriest track. Every Planet We Reach Is Dead.
This was also one of my favorites. Like, I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
It has that grizzly wah pedal in it where the guitar is just like, and you're like, oh God, what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh man, but you just get the saw synths going with that, and just it makes your hair stand up on end. And it breaks open into these like long loose notes from the string section where they're just kind of like drawing it back and forth across the strings, and you're just, oh God. And then you have Auburn harmonizing with himself, which is also like super cool to hear, where it's like 4 different of his vocal sections going, doing different things all at once, but one's louder and saying the lyrics as the other is just kind of like, oh. I really enjoy that section of it. And
that was beautiful. That was a good
here, I got a quote from 2D. Let me see. The lyrics on this one. Picture on the dreamer, I'll take you deeper, down to the sleepy glow. Time is a low, don't you know? What are you going to do?
What a way to start the second disc, C-side. Like,
yeah. And I just showed it, but it has all their faces on these little people.
And I kind of see this one as like a restless person like nodding off to like blissful sleep, where it breaks into those harmonic sections and the like strings are going in full swing, and then it like comes back in with that like weird guitar just playing with the wah, and just kind of like lulls you back into this weird just kind of like cacophony thing that still like musically makes sense, and you're just kind of like, dude, what is happening right now? But I feel it's just someone like nodding off, like where it stagnates like this section here, you break it into the choir here, and then you got the strings in there with it, and then you go back to this, and it's like, I don't know, they just do so much on this album. There's so much stuff to talk about.
Yeah. But from there we go into November Has Come.
Straight up, definitely my sleeper off this album, mainly because my birthday is in November, and I could not understand half the lyrics that MF Doom spits on this, but just like trying to rap along with him was really funny, and I just imagine my like chunky, derpy little self being like, "Woo, does that mean this one's my name?" Oh man, but yeah, another note on MF Doom on this track, and just absolutely instrumental figure in progressing hip hop to where it is today. But credits on the production for this one, and the reason that he got on this album is because of Danger Mouse. Like those two are homies from the past, so that's the reason that MF Doom found his way to the Gorillaz in the first place. So without Danger Mouse, this track wouldn't have been a thing, which is cool to think about. And let me see.
Oh yeah, no, that is a sleeper track.
I definitely just like appreciate that one so much more now that I can actually understand the lyrics.
Some of these next pictures coming up are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, from there we go into All Alone.
Yeah, and you go from that like never-ending kind of like Biggie Smalls type flowing cipher with his raps, where it's just like line after line, like one into the next, and then All Alone, you get a British hip hop artist. We got Rodney Smith, aka Roots Manuva. Sorry. He comes in and he has a whole different flow, like whole different delivery set, because it's like that British hip hop style for the time, where it's like line after line, hot, bring it in, spike it in there, just like slaps every time, line after line, and it's got that bounciness to it. Just like the lyrics, like bounce, wiggle, bounce, wiggle.
Absolutely.
This tune again, just makes me want to dance. Most of them make me want to dance.
When I'm all alone, all I want to do is dance.
It's also about jerking off. What? yeah. So going along with the theme of the night, this one's kind of like about the darker, like seedier sides of things. Like, you know,
there's a hand right here.
Yeah, imagine you're like in the process of going through the night. We're in the red light district now. That's what this song is kind of about, and it's bounce, wiggle, you know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Just go listen to an Ariana Grande song and you'll know what that bounce wiggle means.
All right. Oh man, is there anything else you guys have for this one?
No, but look at this next picture.
Dude,
for White Light.
It makes so much more sense looking at that picture when I look back at the lyrics. You'll laugh at this, but this is definitely like the punk, like Blur inspired, like crazy British rock song with so much distortion, and it's just so fuzzy that it kind of makes your head feel fuzzy and like a little fucked up. And the lyrics for this whole thing is just white light 3 times over, and then he's actually saying alcohol 3 times followed by white light once. So it's just 3 stanzas of that over and over again. Just alcohol and white light, baby. You're just like in the club, just turn up like, oh my God, what's happening right now?
Yeah, this definitely felt like a party song.
Exactly. And there's a like strange breakdown at 1 minute where it's just an angelic choir chorus and acoustic guitars. Like no actual lyrics are said. They're just like, oh. But it's just so funny, like going back and actually reading the lyrics, that they're literally just saying alcohol over and over again. It's just like pure turn up punk energy. And now that we're all full on alcohol and white lights, we're gonna move on to getting our groove on with a little bit of dance.
White light ends the C side. So once you go into Dare, now you're You're on the very last side of the album, D side, ending the second disc. Like you said, Dare, another popular one.
You gotta flip the disc. Come back to it.
Flip that disc. Do I dare?
If you dare.
Yes, I do.
From that gritty like punk, just like you just go into this like funky, trippy dance tune that just every time it comes on, I'm just like tapping my foot to it, no matter what. Just got the bass, the drums, the subs, just slap you on the ass, make you keep dancing. You know, just makes you want to vibe with it. And
that synth is like super like
right
barky too.
Yeah, like a little bit of barking.
Like I don't know.
I was more thinking about the rough.
Oh man, the lyrics themselves kind of like play out like a weird encounter at a dance club though, between two strangers, and a little bit of drug use possibly on the side. I don't know. Neither here nor there, just because the song is a little bit like a trance where, again, it's just like the chorus and the verse are the same thing over and over again. And if you don't know it at first, you never would have paid attention to it. But this one has a feature for our lyrical vocalist on hip hop. We have Sean Ryder, the lead of the British band Happy Mondays. I think he had another project, Grape something or other. I forget which that was. British alternative electronic was his background, so that's kind of the influence on like the dancier kind of vibe between the track. So cool kind of style blending that they have going on there. Oh yeah, I think that's all I had for Dare.
I mean, this is a ripper.
It's just like it makes you want to groove. It really does.
Moving on to the next one. Fire coming out of a monkey's head. And this is a great picture if you watch it.
This one, it's not necessarily a song. I mean, it's more of like spoken poetry to an extent. Because you just have the narrator throughout the entire tune just kind of like describing this story of these people who are just blissfully unaware of their surroundings. And then you got these shadowy figures that slip in. And just
it even credits a narrator, Dennis Hopper.
There he is. That's the guy's name I forgot to take down. So Dennis, I believe he's had some like famous acting work in his past. So that's why his voice is like so substantial and just so present.
Okay, wait. So if anyone out there has not seen a video called Shia LaBeouf Musical Live.
Oh man,
10 out of 10.
It's like a 3-4 minute video.
So disturbing.
It's a 3-4 minute video, but I kid you not when I say that this song, "Fire Coming Out of a Monkey's Head," reminded me of that.
All right, we're gonna have to go back on
now. I
didn't
know.
I don't know. I haven't seen that in Shia LaBeouf in a while, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, just go look it up. Shia LaBeouf, like the musical or live. It's like a 4-minute thing.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. But anyway, there's a narrator who goes, "You're walking out of the woods. Something's following you." And I need to find out that guy's name, because what if that's the same fucking narrator for this?
He might be. I don't know though.
Klep, do your research.
I'm on it.
You got anything else for this one?
Just needless to say, the composition and lyrical component is awesome from the Gorillaz. It's kind of like the background to it all, and it's kind of low under wraps underneath the narration, but the whole time it's just like this ominous foreboding, just like, oh my god, something really bad is gonna happen if you guys don't stop, which is like commonplace for a lot of the themes in these tracks. I mean, every planet we reach is dead.
They did forewarn us.
They told us 2005, man. They were ahead of the ball game.
Yeah.
The Gorillaz predated Al Gore. Just I'll have you know.
I don't think Dennis Hopper was the Shia LaBeouf guy, because Dennis Hopper unfortunately died in 2010. I think that Shia LaBeouf video is like only like 5 or so years old.
2015, yeah.
Yeah, probably mid 2010s, but nonetheless, it gave me that narrator vibe, and that's immediately what came to my head. So go check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but I mean, just the what they're trying to get at is people just swooping in, stealing all the resources, and just destroying everything, and then the great monkey god gets angry, so you get fire coming out of a monkey's head.
And from there, you go right into "Don't Get Lost in Heaven."
best work by the choir on the whole album.
Absolutely.
It's like definitely like got some gospel tones in it, just how it's played out. Don't get lost in heaven. And other people. I just, oh God, it's it makes you want to like sing along a little bit. I don't know, and it's also got some darker meanings behind it, like touches on drug abuse and overdose. Like, don't get lost in heaven. It's not actually reality.
Yep, you can. Yeah,
you can get lost there forever. So I mean, it's got that bright, cheery tone to it, but underneath the surface, it's like, we're warning you.
Don't go too far.
Yeah. Or else you'll turn into Murdoch. He's insane.
No, that is a good song. Like you said, yeah, very, very good choir work on that.
And it's funny because that one's only 2 minutes. So besides intro, that's the shortest track on this album, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Intro's 1 minute and that one's a 2 minute.
Interesting. Well, we wrap it up. The number 15 track, last one on the final disc, the title track, Demon Days.
Yeah, they get back to the reggae, the influence from that. They get dub in there a little bit more.
That looks like the Nickelodeon show, Real Monsters, like those characters.
Let me see. It very well could be that Hewlett had something to do with those guys, honestly. Because he has his own production company for his animation. Let me see. I got something about that. So he has zombie something or other. Yeah, Zombie Flesh Media or Zombie Flesh Eater Media is Hewlett's like company. He's had like Tank Girl, which is his own comic book in the past, and he's had commission work with DC and Marvel in the past too. So he's been like, from an industry standpoint, he has like pretty broad range, but like the Gorillaz styling is definitely like his Zombie Flesh Eater kind of style. So I don't know if he did any cartoon work in the past. I didn't dig that far.
Nah, but I get what you're saying, Klep. They do look like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, this album, again, like Klep said, I really only knew Feel Good and probably heard Dare like a couple times, but didn't really know too much about it. But what a trip of an album where, again, you start, I feel like Klep, you put it perfectly. Tell the people, I don't want to take your thunder.
Yeah, it just like, I guess, I don't know, it starts off like kind of more electronic and then gets like a little more hip hoppy towards the middle of the album. That has a lot of the tracks with, the featured hip hop artists, and then gets like a little more rocky and then kind of like more psychedelic to close it out.
They aren't so
it's just cool. It covers so many genres
they ever fall into, which is like the coolest thing. They just pull from so many different things that you're kind of sitting there like, all right, there's like 20 different instruments right here. I don't know what's happening, but my ear holes like it. And I mean, it doesn't shock me that the commercial success was the same. I know they went straight to number 1 in the UK, and then they topped out number 6 in the US. And for British bands in that time, like after the Beatles and the big British wave, like the 80s through to like 2010 didn't really broach as well for British bands coming commercially to the US. So to see them have that much success was, I mean, it just speaks to how freaking good the album was, I think.
Nah. This was a kick-ass album, like all around. I'm glad you chose it.
Yeah.
And yeah, fuck yeah. What an album. Good stuff. Yeah. But yeah, all right. So that, again, was Demon Days by the Gorillaz. Ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. BMac just dropped a shit ton of knowledge that you're probably going to want to rewind this episode and go and listen to that whole section again.
Demon Days.
But I want to leave us some time right now to just dive into the lore that is BMac and his music love and taste.
Oh, man.
So BMac, we hang out a lot.
Yeah.
And I really only play our Stallions, our Stampede Shuffle.
Stampede Shuffle, that's his go-to.
I mean, that's just, it should be everyone's go-to. Again, really Stampede Shuffle on Spotify. Go check it out. And
it's a banger.
It is. I think we're almost up to like 5K songs. We're definitely north of 4,500.
You won't run out.
And you will never hear. Yeah, and you'll never hear a lot of the songs out there.
And if you're lucky like me and Goose, you'll get rickrolled on the first play. First one off the shuffle, Rickroll.
We got rickrolled straight away.
But hey,
that's awesome.
Finally remixed Rickroll. Thank God, because that song is so good.
Yeah, I never understood why the song was a meme. Like honestly, ever since the first time somebody showed it to me, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of good."
Yeah,
like you're using this song to like prank people. Like how? Where's the joke?
I think it's the music video, like
and the lyrics, because he goes,
"Never gonna give you up, never gonna
let you down,
never gonna run around,
desert you,
as you
never
can
gonna
see
say goodbye."
Yeah. No, it's never bad to be rickrolled, but it was funny. So the other day I was like, you know, BMac, like you know a lot of music and you listen to this shuffle a lot, and I started quizzing him. I was like, all right, who's this? Dude,
hell yeah.
Dude, you were getting like Men I Trust like off the first guess.
Because I
listened to a whole album of theirs the other. It was probably like 3 weeks ago.
Is so good, and their female vocalist, like her voice, just I could like be swaddled and like rock to sleep with it. I don't know what it is, but it's just so soft yet just so poignant. Like I love that band.
Yeah, they're coming to this area. I want to say in like mid or late October.
Stallions,
I know they have a Detroit show. I don't know if they have a Cleveland show or not.
They might be going to Garage Shop or something. I feel like I might have seen them on that like song Kick Out that I go through.
Maybe they're playing the venue that they're playing in Detroit would be like much bigger than Garage Shop.
Yeah, I mean, Mahall's does get some pretty big bands that come through.
Yeah,
there.
like random.
Like Hop
I feel like they would be like an Agora band. Honestly, I'm not just saying that because every Cleveland show I go to is at the Agora.
They are Canadian, so the fact that they're like touring US, they do have a strong following, and like there's so many random acts that go through there that just have like they just pack it out. Like no one will top Goose when me and Goose actually saw Goose. The band Goose, not the person Goose. The person Goose is right there.
I'm the Spruce.
The band
talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, it's like so. You surprised me when you were just drilling that, but I don't know. Like, tell us like how. And so for reference out there now, BMac, you listen to a lot of EDM music.
A lot, yeah.
Like hard, like the hard shit EDM.
The reason that is, I'll give you the roadmap of where I started, how I started, and how it's just kind of melded into my current tastes. So starters, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, don't shit on me, but every track off of that video game, like it's a rabbit hole. You could just go to that artist and just branch out from there.
You are not the first Stallions guest to mention Tony Hawk Pro Skater music.
It's because we had it for, I think it was on N64, right?
Dude, it went to the PS.
Yeah. So I definitely had like a couple Tony Hawk games and all the music that they had. They had System of the Down. They had like Incubus. They had Del the Funky Homo Sapien. They had, oh my God, Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course. Like that's how I found out about them. And then I asked my brother, who is another huge component of my musical inclinations. He is 6 years older than me, so kind of just out of reach for like what I would often associate as like my music range, like what we grew up with per chance, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had that element, and then my parents as well. My mom is a classical pianist, so she's played the piano since I was a babe, like has played in a band with Logan Sisley's dad. So the guy that Spruce plays out with and like jams with, his dad was in a band with my mother, which I think, like, you know, my mom, like me picturing my mom up on a set of keys and platform shoes just does not compute in my brain, but it's hilarious to think about. They were like a Steppenwolf cover band or something.
Dude, that's
awesome.
I know, right?
Yeah. So the only idea that I have of Rosie, who's BMac's mom, involved in music, is she was a part of our choir.
Still is.
Holy
so
shit.
Our parish, St. Bernadette's, my mom, like my parents, steadfast Irish Catholics. been going to church forever. They will go forever. There's no stopping them. But my mom's part of the choir, so she's got a set of pipes on her. She's a choir lady. It's hilarious.
Rosemary lays it down and has been laying it down for years.
I know. And I wish I would have listened to her when I was younger, because she tried so many times to get me to play an instrument, and I was a headstrong little bastard who would rather play video games than play sports. But alas, there's never time. There's
still time. I was gonna say, alas, there is still time, BMac.
He's trying to get
too late.
I know, and honestly, I'm gonna encourage everyone out there. Literally, like, fucking pick. Like, if you want to learn something, just go do it. It's never too late to learn any sort of aspect of music ever.
But so Tony Hawk Pro Skater, my brother, my mother, my dad, he was big into, like, his favorite band was like Marshall Tucker brand. So he didn't like country. He liked
a little
bluegrass rock and roll type stuff. And so he had that in his vinyl collection. He had Zeppelins, he had Floyd's. He was going, like, he had rattled off a list of all the stadium shows that he saw at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland when all the rock touring went through, and out at the Richfield Coliseum too. I think he wrote up a list of what he could remember. He had 45 names on there.
Damn.
Ranging from seeing Pink Floyd live to like something as ridiculous as like Led Zeppelin. And I was just like, you saw all this? And he's like, that was pretty cool. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, musical family. Our whole family is artsy fartsy and musically inclined. It's a small family, and like 70% of it plays an instrument. So like, there you go. And beyond that, my brother, definitely the strongest influence until he got to like high school age, because then he went on his skater punk weird ska tangent where I was like, nice mohawk, dude. And he had like one of those like actual glued up mohawks with the side shaved so he could really stand out at St. Edward all boys Catholic school. Yeah, that didn't fly.
Hopefully it was a green or yellow mohawk.
It was bright blue.
Oh,
bright blue tips. And this
should have gone to Ignatius.
That's right,
man, dude. It was probably close to like 8 inches long, and he did just like his hair product was straight up glue. Elmer's glue and some weird
what?
I don't know, man. But he went off.
He actually glued it?
Yeah. Yeah. My brother was like at Peabody's,
that's
the
Odeon.
Odeon.
I wish I could say I
and like
that.
All these random like grimy concert venues in Cleveland that just reeked of piss every weekend, just out partying with his like skater punk crew, because that was his thing. And God bless him.
Yeah.
He's now a licensed architect and wouldn't even know it. He would have never known that he had a full, like, all sorts of leather and jackets and patches and spikes for no reason.
I wish I could say I've done that.
Oh God, I'll have to find a picture.
Yeah.
For you. You'd laugh your ass off.
That's interesting you say that. That just reminded me of something. My first concert ever, I was, I think, a junior in high school, and like my friend and I ran into our like sophomore English teacher at a Misfits concert. So it's like that type of crowd, like super punk, grungy.
My brother loved Misfits.
Yeah, and dude, this was the most proper, like strict, like hard ass teacher.
You never know, man.
Dude, he had like all these tattoos and stuff that you'd never know about because he's always in like a shirt and tie and all this. And we were just like, Mr. Clarkson, what are you doing here?
That's my favorite. That happened to me down at Nautica. I was down there seeing Incubus, and the neighbors next to my mom's house, they're like a younger couple. So I think they're 40 tops at this point. So a little bit older than my brother. I was like walking around that ring that they have like in between the big stand section and the pit, and I run into my neighbor. Her name's Courtney. She's there with her sister Amanda, and they're both like, Brian? And I go, Amanda? Courtney? What are you guys doing here? And they're like, what are you doing here?
So this is a funny aspect of music that we could just do a whole nother episode for, but it's like
just broaching those generational divides.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, you just can't, like, you have no idea what that person is listening to, no matter what job, no matter where you saw them, no matter what. and it brings the other aspect of like you never know who you're gonna see at concerts as well, and like that's such a lure. Like especially if you're going somewhere like in Cleveland or Toledo and places you go, you're like, I know I'm gonna see someone, but like you have no idea who the fuck you're gonna see because you don't know who the hell listens to any of this music out there.
Dude, hold on. So that's crazy you just said that because I was just at a Leon Bridges concert literally yesterday in Columbus. So it's not even around here. Yeah. And I saw a group of like 4 people that like I went to high school with, and these same 4 people like all hung out together in high school. They're like a grade lower than me, and we're not even in Toledo. We're in Columbus, and they're just like all there at the Leon Bridges show.
That's so funny, dude. No, it's funny how that works, and like I want to do it, and I'm sure we could have a bunch of like people on like yourself, but just to dive in like just the music as a whole. But whatever. All right, I want to continue. I want to make sure I get this in.
Wait, before you do it, I got one question I gotta ask. So, because BMac, I fuck with Incubus a lot. Yeah. I saw them last year. Yeah. I didn't get any songs off of Fungus Among Us or Science. Did you?
So what happened is, I think it was early 2000s, but the guy who was the turntablist, the guy scratching the records, making all the kind of sounds, he departed from the band. So he didn't like, was no longer touring with them. That's why they like melded into this kind of rocky, like almost poppy, just because of how beautiful the lead singer's voice is and the range that he has.
Brandon's voice is insane.
It's insanity. But that's why you didn't get a lot of those songs, is they don't touch back into that part of their career too much, just because out of respect, the guy isn't with them anymore. Like,
can't just keep they do still have a guy on turntables though. I know it's not the same guy, but they do still have like that instrument up there.
Because I'm trying to think, I saw him in like, I want to say 2016 or 2017.
Okay. So, well, and also, I guess another reason why I asked too is on this tour, not every set, but most sets, they are playing Vitamin as like the second to last song before the encore, and that one's off Science.
So I think they play Science songs, but they don't play Fungus Among Us because
I have not seen that on a set list in forever.
So I think that is the transitionary point where like between those 2 albums is where that one dude departed. And he was like the mastermind behind that like crazy scratching and stuff.
And so I mean, if you listen to Fungus Among Us, like you can tell there's definitely some drug use involved with the making of that album. So maybe it just represents a time of the band that they don't really want to revisit. I don't know.
That's true.
Just
That's
thought.
Another one. Just spitballing it out there. There's so many different things, but hey, we'd probably have to ask them themselves.
Well,
Incubus. All right, we're gonna find a way to get Brandon fucking Boyd on the vinyl Stallions. We're gonna do it.
I'll just pester him over and over and over again until he agrees. It's fine.
Let's go, Klep. Let's go. Fire up.
And if not, we'll get Mike Einzinger or someone else.
We'll make it happen.
I love it.
What were you gonna say?
Well, no. So I don't want to stop. So just so briefly keep going through your.
So past that, let's fast forward. Besides Tony Hawk, I started hitting up the library, scarfing CDs, burning them, illegal type shit.
I did that too.
Bad boy. But that allowed me to just branch out to whatever capacity. Luckily, we grew up in Westlake, which has like a ridiculously good public library. So I had a large collection to choose from. And
did the librarians recognize you whenever you would come in? They'd be like,
oh, exactly. I'd walk out with a stack of CDs, like, here. And so past that, I finally bridge the gap and kind of get to the high school era where like I'm meeting a lot of new people from all over Cleveland. I don't know how, but I think hip hop was starting to get a lot of popularity during that time. And so I dove in head first with the one and only Slim Shady, which was probably very bad for my adolescent mind, but 10 out of 10, he's a great man. So I listened to a lot of M, like a lot of people from that time period when they were big, like some 50 Cent and like a lot of random gangster rap, and I dabbled with NWA and Bone Thugs and Harmony and like all of it. Like I basically just kept going like genre to genre, just diving in as far as I could. Like I messed around with Bob Marley at a time, and that led me to like a bunch of reggae, Rastafarian, and dub music from Jamaica. And then just like with rap music, you go to Eminem and then you like, oh, who's D12? Okay, let's go look at these guys. Oh, they sang a song with him. Oh, let's look at him. So it's just the endless rabbit hole complex is what I always have in my music journey. And past high school, go on to college, open up the brain even further, even more new people, more experiences. And along this whole timeline, working out was a big thing for me because I had back surgery in high school. So I found out like, hey, working out makes me feel good, makes my back feel better, yada, yada, so on and so forth. But the rap wasn't doing it for me in the gym. It just wasn't getting me there. It wasn't fast enough, wasn't dirty enough, wasn't hitting
a little bit of that heavy metal.
A little bit of heavy metal. Didn't like the screaming too much, but I like everything else component wise. But the deathcore screams are a little bit too guttural for me. It's like, ooh, all right.
Same, honestly. You got to find that middle ground.
You need the middle ground, and my middle ground was dubstep.
Right on.
Because you get that same intensity and just like, oh my God, this is disgusting, but I love it. What's happening in my brain right now? Why is it shaking my skeleton? Oh my God. It's 140 beats a minute. Right above that is where you want your heart range anyway. So you're just just lifting for everyone listening. It was weird. Don't worry. But yeah, so I dabbled with that, and I just like, I had heard of deadmau5, a very famous techno DJ before. I had heard of like Fatboy Slim and the Chemical Brothers, all these like 90s electronic trance rave guys who were kind of like putting the foundation together for where electronic music could go. Luckily, Ian kind of got some of that from high school and college too. So it was like my brother Ian, sorry. It was kind of a filter feed system where just like whatever he heard of, I heard of through association too. But yeah, since college, electronic, house, techno, dubstep, drum and bass, trance, like
robot noises.
Weird robot sex noises is my bag, baby. I love it. I really do.
And so like now to this day, so anytime I step into BMac's car now, it's just teeing off. But
at all times.
At all times. BMac's working 8 hours a day and it's just
because I can't really listen to lyrics and talk to a person on the phone, but I can really just tune out the bleep bloops until I want to listen to them again. So that's how it goes.
And dude, I mean, it just again shows because there are so many people that go to so many concerts, so many people involved in that scene, not just around Cleveland, but like
it's
everywhere.
Like the thing I'll say about it is I've become so enamored with it is because not only the music, but like the scene and the people are something to be like, you can't shake a finger at them either because it's like a really welcoming environment. Sure, there's some like kind of weird people who are just really in it for the drugs and stuff, but like, dude, that's any music genre. There's 100%. Always going to be people that are going to be.
Did you go to Electric Forest a month ago?
I have not gone there yet.
Tell us where you just came back from this summer.
So I actually went to Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas, which is the largest festival in North America. All electronic music from all like 27 different subgenres that entails.
Yep.
And some of the biggest name acts in the world were playing there. Like, do you know Tiesto, either of you?
Of course.
He's been around forever. Tiesto was a headliner. Then you got deadmau5 and Cascade, two monuments of the industry. And
absolutely.
So like,
tell us about that experience, like all together.
Dude, you get like the entirety of everything that has encompassed this entire genre. Everyone's still alive for the most part. So it's a very weird experience to be able to set yourself in that world because it's just so cut off from everything else. I mean, they hold.
So you're like getting the Led Zeppelins, the Rolling Stones of electronic music.
Right now, right here in person. Like the names that are going to go down, like where we look back like 40 years from now and be like, holy crap, you got to see that person live? And it's just like, I kind of frame of reference it like that, where it's like, I'm really in the moment with what's happening right now and what's growing the fastest because it has like a good foundation and community behind it that want to drive it forward and like see it blossom. And that's the best thing about it is a lot of these artists are the ones starting their own labels and then bringing up new artists. Like it's a divergence every like 5 years. Someone gets so big that they're like, hey, I'm going to start my own label, and now I'm going to find another 30 people to bring up to the status I'm at. And it's just like,
oh yeah,
because DJing is just so unique in that it's like you're orchestrating this symphony beforehand with all these different components that you've put together. And then you're going up on stage and blending that in for a full hour nonstop of just like stuff that makes your body move without you even thinking about it. And that's the best way to put it. Dance music is just a primal just feeling where that bass just and you're moving.
And like it'll hit you hard there, but it is Closey.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yes, the French Canadian producer. Or not French, sorry, she is just French, not Canadian.
Well, yeah, so this was a DJ who BMac told me I should go to. It was end of last year.
He just kind of sent it last minute. And
yeah, no, I sent it literally day of, I remember. Because BMac was like, it's a more like kind of like psychedelic, like EDM. It's not like gonna just like constantly be going.
Yeah.
And so I went and like, oh my God,
she blew you away.
Dude, what an experience, because
I just remember looking over at your face is like a very new, like just virgin ears to this stuff for the first time, being like, ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh man.
That was
and that's the thing, when people just kind of like put it into this like typecast of like it's EDM, it's electronic, whereas just like any other genre of music, there's like 15 subcategories below that. It's not one size shoe fits all.
And you dive into all of them, BMac. So who are some of your just top artists throughout that whole map of electric dance music? Like,
well, as a starter pack, let's just say name some of the biggest hitters. So if you want to go and see dubstep, you go and see Excision. Papa Jeff will do you right. He is he'll make you shit your pants. It's violent but fun. it's an experience. It's probably why I'm half deaf now, but that's okay. That's okay. I wear earplugs now. Kids, wear your earplugs. Safety first. I have nerve damage. I am only 50% in one ear. Like, just PSA. Wear earplugs at concerts. You'll save yourself from trouble down the road. It's not fun having less hearing. Just putting it out there. All right, that's it's big boy for dubstep. There's the thing called rhythm, which is the weird, ugly half-step cousin of dubstep. Go and look at Subtronics; he'll do you right. For house, French DJ Chami, TCHAMI. He literally any French house musician, chef's kiss. They are all just amazing.
Would Daft Punk fall under that category? Because they're
Punk
French, aren't they?
French house. They have their own subsect now because Daft Punk and Justice, both in the realm of French house production, they were kind of the first ones to do it. Both duos, both doing crazy shit, both rehashing old funk and disco songs and making it just like brand new.
I've seen Justice live, and they were insane.
Insanity.
Like, did not know much about them, but I just went to that show and
just hypnotizing,
was just like,
right?
wow.
Yeah. And that's another thing besides that is the production of value that goes into the spectacle that is the show. They got screens just with crazy visuals from various artists and animators being put up, lasers from all the laser technicians just flashing everywhere. Like, when you're in there, there's so much sensory input coming in from your eyes, your ears, your body. Like, you're just kind of standing there. You could just like soak it in and be like, oh my God, what is happening? For like any of these genres, like, it's just so all over the place, but it's so just like in the same vein, and it's cool. Techno, go listen to deadmau5. Trance, go listen to Cascade.
And that's gonna be BMac DJ name.
God, Chillwave.
I'm surprised at how many of these artists that like I've heard of or are familiar with, because I would consider electronic to be like, I guess, sort of my blind spot when it comes to music. Like, I'm pretty well versed in most types of music, but like electronic and country, those are probably like the two genres that I know the least about.
I love everything except for country. the like pop country that we currently have. Like never.
Yeah, I was gonna say modern like pop country, yes, but like you go back
Marshall
to like
Tucker
when
band,
it's like
hell yeah.
yeah, like bluegrass style country or
Actual
like old like
style,
70s. Yeah,
Where they actually did
Outlaws.
it right.
But the beauty of music, there are millions and millions of people out there listening to it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Shout out to music. All right, dope.
I could keep.
Yeah, I know you can keep going. But something I felt like I needed to throw in, and something I really don't even think that I have dove into at all on this podcast club. We haven't even really talked about this. The lore of Vinyl Stallions itself. So, as you can see behind me, we have Vinyl Valerie, or Valerie the Vinyl Stallion.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey, Valerie. Oh, looking good, baby. Now, we've explained on the very first episode about our snails and rats experience at concerts. BMac was with me during every one of my experiences. He was there with Flava Flav, asking me where I'm from during the Pigeons Encore.
I brought salt to the show, and once I broke it open, they threw it away. They're not letting salt into the venues. I need to change this. Yeah. They said it's a mysterious white powder. I said it's table salt. You taste it.
We're bringing the salt. That's it, ma'am. But so all right. So BMX was with the internet. There was another time. Honestly, the first time we ever experienced a snail was at our very first Goose and Pigeon show. And this kid was by himself.
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, PA.
No, Pittsburgh Tony was good.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Tony was good. That's when we saw him at.
This is
Pigeons.
Pittsburgh Jabroni.
Yeah, this was Pittsburgh Jabroni, and he like was hammered by himself, and was one of those people who
kept looking back for reassurance to make sure that everyone else thought it was good.
Yeah, like he's like, "This is great."
Just
I'm
so
like,
he could like dance along and be like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Wait, is this the you here for Sun Squabby guy?
No, that
different guy.
That was the Flavor Flav.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a different one. This was the very first guy, and like the very first time where like people, this kid probably was on like mushrooms or something.
Who knows?
He had to leave the venue because
we were on mushrooms
because this guy was freaking out so much.
Oh yeah,
and he literally had to leave like at the Pigeons middle of their encore. Was like, I have to take a break. This kid is like wasted and just keeps like falling on me and like
we're like, you too? No way.
And so yeah, we hung with those guys after. So that was nuts. And so that's so again, BMac was there for the rats. But again, behind me is Vinyl Valerie, where I was at BMac's house one time, probably over the winter, and I'm walking out and I see this fucking canvas in the trash across from his house.
What a waste.
And I text BMac, I go, "Yo, go and grab that for me." And he's like, "All right, Goose, I got you." He runs across, brings it back in, and he brings it over. And so this was just hanging out in our family room for a minute. And then when Klep, myself, and our buddy Michael were talking about just, we have these concert rats, but what is the opposite of a rat? I threw in a stallion because I was just sitting on my couch looking at this. And I made up a bunch of shit. I'm just like, yeah, stallions stand in line. Stallions don't drink water. And Klep was like,
ridiculous shit.
And Klep was like, hell yeah, that actually makes sense. Like, and like, again, if you listen to our second episode, who doesn't want to be a stallion, baby? Donkey says it in Shrek 2. And Donkey, I'm a stallion. I'm a stallion. And
yeah.
And so anyway, this may have not been named Vinyl Stallions if it wasn't for you, BMac, going across and getting that canvas. So the lore begins and is continuing with Mr. BMac.
I'm glad I could contribute.
You contributed very much.
Hats off to you, gentlemen, for being the Vinyl Stallions.
Hell yeah. This has been a rowdy episode all around. This has just been like, we're just going left, we're going right. But I think there's only one way to wrap this thing up. And
I say he's not getting out of here until.
Yeah, he's not getting out of here at all. Klep, give it to him.
All right. What is your most memorable experience at a live show?
I'll give you one that has the biggest roller coaster of events. Because I would do my first ever show, which was seeing like the Foo Fighters at the Q. Awesome.
Oh, I've seen Foo Fighters live. So fucking rowdy.
So good. But 2016, Lollapalooza. It's their 20th or 25th anniversary. So it was the first time they did a 4-day festival instead of a 3-day festival. Red Hot Chili Peppers is playing their 20th anniversary show or some craziness. Like they played it in 2002 and they came back again and played it in 2016. And so they get the biggest stage. It's like the Samsung stage, a capacity of like 80,000 people through this main park in Chicago. And I was with my ex at the time, so just leaving her there because she's with me through this journey. But there's like baseball fields throughout because it's a big old like public park in the middle of downtown Chicago, kind of like how New York has Central Park.
Yeah,
but that's
Grant
where they
Park.
hold the event. Yeah, they hold it at Grant. So we went on the outskirts of one of the ball diamonds because they're like, all right, let's not stand in the dirt because people will be kicking up stuff during the Peppers. Let's get like right in the outfield. We're probably 100 yards plus back from the actual stage itself. And just on the cusp zone of the crazy section, I would say, where it's like the shoulder to shoulders, people moshing, being absolutely gnarly, and just trains of people going in and trains of them coming back out, like throwing up and just looking like they're going to pass out because it's a bunch of 16-year-olds trying to go into a Red Hot Chili Peppers pit and they didn't know what they were getting. They got a bunch of 35, 40-year-olds just, yeah!
Dude, that was me. I went to Lollapalooza
Right?
2012 and saw the Chili Peppers and like
raging.
mind blown.
Raging. But so we're standing there. I think it's 30 minutes pre-show. People are just flooding. They're flooding. They're coming from the other stages. It's like a stream of people just coming in. And we are very, very fortunate to have, we'll call her Tessa the Troll, because she was about 4'6", came up to maybe my nips. I don't know. I'm like 6'5", so just I think it's shorter than Nip even. She was like belly height. But she decided to come and stand directly behind the 6'5" giant. Don't really understand the logic there. She was wasted. Lollapalooza, they have these like pint wine things that you can buy. It's a lot of like, it's a weird crowd with Lolla. You get a lot of different music, but you also have to deal with 16-year-old suburban Chicago kids who flood that place. So heads up if you're thinking of that place. Maybe an 18-plus festival is more you think. But the Peppers are about to go on. Like, the lights are flashing stuff, and they're, like, getting into the first song or two. And I just hear this weird, scratchy voice from behind me, just being irate and just ignorant. And eventually I kind of turned around and saw it was Tessa the Troll just screaming at me the whole time, and I hadn't even realized it. So I like turned around and bent down to like get a closer ear to hear what this woman was trying to say. And in so doing, I turned me and my ex, because I was doing the old like protect and hug, because like people were running past us earlier. We're just vibing out, hugging each other, you know, just happy as clams, just waiting for some peppers to just rip our faces off. And this woman goes, I've been standing here for like 45 minutes, and I don't think you should be standing in front of me. And I think you're a little bit too tall, Ogre Boy, because I can't see the chili peppers right now. Verbatim. And so she called me an ogre, like straight up as an insult. That was a first for me. I loved it. And mind you, we have like some two like probably best buds. They're already shirtless. They're ready to rage. They've been ripping J's to our right for the past like 15 minutes. They're greased up. The wheels are ready to go. And then on our left, we have this other like couple who are just vibing out, mind their own business, like me and my ex were doing at the time. And like, I'm not a very confrontational person, so I was gonna just go, oh, you can stand in front of me if you'd like. I said that to this woman, and she goes, no, there's no way you could just come in here and take my spot. I've been waiting here for an hour and a half. Already changed the time frame, mind you. And she didn't realize that we, in fact, had been standing there just waiting the whole time in that very exact spot where she could have walked around us. So after calling me an ogre, my ex tried stepping in and being like, listen, lady, like, he already offered and made a deal. Like, do you want to stand in front of us or not? Like, it's up to you. And she dropped the see you next Tuesday comment and called her that. And I'm surprised my girlfriend at the time did not explode. JJ knows who I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, we got reinforcements from right side and left side. The woman from the couple overheard the comment. She whips around and goes, "Oh no, you didn't," and just starts berating this woman. Mind you, the two bros, they heard everything. They know what's going on. One of them goes up on the other's shoulders and they start moshing into them as hard as humanly possible while avoiding me and my ex. And this Tessa the Troll got flat out, clean laid out. She got back up off the ground. I can't believe you people. This is an outrage.
And then she just stormed off drunkenly and tripped over a few more people on the way out.
Holy shit.
And that's the worst of it. Now, reverse 180 degrees. We got the Red Hot Chili Peppers live and in person. I'd been waiting since I was 10 years old to see these guys live and in concert. And I'm talking.
Yeah.
All that stress and anxiety is gone. Tessa the Troll is out the window.
Or
She's
maybe
gone.
or laying in the mud.
Or laying in the mud. I could not give a care. But the Peppers proceeded to literally make me cry because I was so happy. There was a helicopter flyover, probably one of the news choppers, but it was just strafing the concert the whole time. So just imagine a big spotlight from the sky and all these crazy like white and black like hypnotizing circles were playing on the screens for the Peppers. They're playing around the world.
Yeah, that's when they opened up for the boys this past Sunday.
Yes. And just, dude, I felt like I was about to get abducted by aliens and I could not be any happier. Like, I would have been totally fine with it in that moment. Like, the Pepper, Anthony Kiedis just over here just serenading me and just fleeting. Will Ferrell's on the drums doing his thing as always. Love you, Chick. And then who's the name of the guitarist?
You had Josh.
I had Josh.
Yeah, this would have been right
Josh
after the release of the Getaway.
Mm-hmm. So I got to see Josh like right after the release of Getaway. So we got some Go Robot. We got some of those tunes, and then they like threw it back to a bunch of different like Californication. They went back as far as Out in LA. Like they pulled from all over the spectrum because this was like they played there in 2002 and now they're back. Like it's a big deal for them. So they wanted to play the full experience, like encompass as much as they could. And just, dude, I remember distinctly just like sitting down, like there's sections of trees kind of in between all the different stages. So like we sat down afterwards since it's like mass exodus, Peppers closed, like the park's a hot mess. And I just remember like sitting there and just kind of like taking in the experience that I had just been through. And I was like, that was everything I ever wanted. That was freaking amazing. I'm so glad and so grateful that I was able to experience just them live in person, blasting the songs I'd listened to over and over again. Just
dude, you know like every word to every Chili Peppers song from like, their main like 6 albums.
Yeah, because the first song I ever heard from them is Fight Like a Brave, and that's from the Uplift Mofo Party Plan from
that's
on
like
Tony
first
Hawk.
3.
So that's the first album that I started with, and I went backwards from there too and dug into their old stuff too. And then it was a linear path forward, and like right around when I started listening to them is when they dropped, I think, Stadium Arcadium.
Yeah.
Like when I really got into
what a
group,
time.
they dropped that and I was just like, ah!
4 discers.
Oof. Oh, yeah, they definitely played
Yeah.
Danny California at that show, and I sang every word until my voice was raspy. And yeah, I definitely did not have a voice after that show because I sang like every single song.
That's rowdy. That is a great memorable experience for like a funny, bad kind of, and then a great.
I mean, it's just that juxtaposition of something so just horribly wrong going on, but just like the community itself around you, just like coming into your aid, like complete and total strangers to just shoo off the snail.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tessa the Troll, you are Captain Snail. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. But if I find you,
She's under a bridge.
oh, she's underneath the Chicago skyline, just like hanging there, like.
Fuck yeah. Well, man, all right. So, as I've said, BMac, we've mentioned him so many times before on this podcast. We will absolutely have you back. It was a freaking pleasure. Great album choice with Demon Days again by the Gorillaz, and we could go on for another 5 hours right now.
I got 30 pages here. I got 30 pages. You want some fun quotes? I got fun quotes. I got fun quotes for you.
Give us one fun quote. Give us one fun quote to end this podcast.
All right. We'll just go with how cocky Hewlett was after the success of their first album. Let me see. Where?
See, this guy knows. This guy comes prep. This guy's got fucking notebooks.
Here we go. So speaking on their debut name release album and going into Demon Days, he said, "Let's repeat the same process as the first album, but do it better. Because everyone thought it was a gimmick. If you do it again, it's no longer a gimmick. And if it works, then we proceed." Wait, what is it? If it works, then we've proved a point. And it instantly, all of us got excited.
And that's beautiful. And that is
fantastic
about music. It may seem weird at the beginning, but if it works and it resonates with people, you keep on going. And that is where the success is found, and
Gorillaz
identities are found.
Two flatmates, man.
Exactly. Well, besides that, my name is Spruce.
My name's BMac.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl Stallions.